If you don't know, I'm here at the Grand Canyon for the season. My season is 6 months long. I am living in the tiniest cabin. It's about 300 square feet. And yes, I did bring plants with me. So I actually gathered all my plants that I want to talk about in this little table over here, and just taking a look at them. They are mostly Hoyas. I just recently got into Hoyas and they're such beautiful plants, so I just want to make sure that they are just doing fine and dandy here. So I have had a few hiccups, mostly with lighting. I had to buy grow lights because this cabin is so dark. I get some good eastern light in the mornings and some good western light in the afternoons, but because I am surrounded by trees and it's often very cloudy here, the lighting is not as good as it could be. Another thing that I've struggled with, Arizona is such a dry place. Like, I can even myself feel it. My skin gets so dry, especially around my eyes and my lips. So if I'm feeling the effects of the extreme low humidity, so are my plants, and yes, they are showing it. I have a couple of plants that are actually in a plastic container trying to rehab them because they went downhill really fast from being in a very low humid environment. So let's talk about plants. So let's see, which one should I showcase first? When I first got this Hoya, I was struggling with it because it kept getting root rot for some reason. And I have since learned that a good way to tell that your Hoya does not have good, healthy roots, it will start drying at the tip. I don't know if you can see that. Basically, if they're not like growing the healthy leaves at the end, if you see them drying out this bit, if it's drying out, that means that the roots are not healthy and you need to figure out what's going on with your Hoya. It took a little bit of trying to figure out how to care for this Hoya, but it's finally doing really well. It's growing new leaves and not a lot of the strands are drying. The ones that are, because they are so minimal, I'm just kind of letting them go, see what happens. It's only, I see this one here that's not doing very well, and then this one here, and I'm just gonna let it go, see what happens. Maybe it'll correct itself, and if it doesn't, then I will take a look at the roots again. But I have it in soil at the top and leca at the bottom. The reason why I did that is because this is the smallest clear pot that I had with drainage, so I wanted to, hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. The roots were so small and I didn't want to pot this with a lot of soil since the roots were small and I was having trouble keeping the roots healthy. So what I did is, just to take up space, I put leca at the bottom and then well draining soil at the top, and it's doing fine. I water it about every week because, like I said, it's so dry here, and these like slits on the side plus the drainage at the bottom, it just dries the soil up really fast, and it seems to like that regimen. So I water it every week, and I spray my Hoyas with this every like once or twice a week when I remember. I spray it at nighttime and let them soak it up, and then in the morning the leaves won't get burned with the grow lights. So yeah, don't spray this and then put it under the grow light. I feel like that would be a disaster. But yes, happy Hoya. The next plant this is actually Dischidia, and this guy looks like a little emo guy. Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. I also had trouble with this one. It started doing that Hoya thing where it's like, if it's not healthy, it starts drying out, and I didn't know what was wrong with it. So I just kept giving it water, and it seemed to like that, even though This is supposed to be like an epiphyte and it doesn't like sitting in soggy soil. After giving it a good amount of water, started to grow new leaves, and I have it in a really well draining soil in another one of these clear pots. And as you can see, it's actually even like growing roots out of the bottom. So I don't know why it's doing that. I guess it's just really getting rooty. This has a drainage hole, so it doesn't sit in the water. See, it's a drainage hole. So I don't know, what are you chasing? But as you can see, it's doing so much better. One of my aunts got me this pot in Mexico. Stay of the Dead pot. I love this pot so much. So I'm always happy when I have a plant that's small enough to actually fit here, even though they don't last in this pot very long because they just outgrow it so fast. Okay, my next plant is this variegated rope, and it's actually doing pretty well. It was growing so slow for a while, but I think it's really enjoying the grow light, and it's growing new leaves. Of course, the leaves grow so painfully slow, but it's growing. I know people sometimes say that their rope doesn't do anything for the longest time, so put it under a grow light and spray it with orchid fertilizing thing. It is getting that pink tint that they do when they're under a grow light, and I think it's really pretty. Hasn't given me a all white leaf in a while, which is great because those die so fast. It's actually just getting variegation at the edge. It's just really pretty. Can't wait till this Hoya is like super big, but I feel like that's gonna take years. Okay. The next Hoya, this pretty beautiful Hoya. I love the leaves of this Hoya so much. So it's also getting the light, the pink edges from the grow light, and I don't know if that venation is also due because of the grow light, but I am really liking the way that these grow lights are making my plants look. They just look so pretty. I can't go over it, and this one is actually doing really well. This is my second one that I bought. The first one brought it on me, and it's because I shoved it in my bookshelf at home and then forgot about it, and it wasn't getting nearly enough light, so then it just decided to rot. And I am trying to rehab it, but it's giving me such a hard time. It's okay. First, let me talk about this one. Okay, so potted in this clear pot again, well draining soil. I think what really helps these Hoyas is these slits. It's giving it so much air flow, and it's just, I guess, a good pot for Hoyas in my very short experience of growing these Hoyas in these pots. But okay, let me show you the other Hoya, the one that's being rehabbed. So I had put it in a container where it had really high humidity and it grew great roots. So then I was like, I'm gonna start acclimated to outside of that enclosure, but I guess it's just so freaking dry here that it just decided to rot again. So it is back in here, and this time around I'm not even going to grow the roots in a high humid environment. I'm just like grow in this environment and, you know, just try your best. If this doesn't, I mean, it's not dying, but it's not growing roots either. If this Hoya is still being, you know, weird, by the next time I go home, I might just give this to one of my friends, and if they want to deal with it, they can deal with it. But I'm getting kind of tired of dealing with this when I have that other one who is so beautiful. But grow. The next one is this beautiful, gorgeous black margin Hoya. Is that the common name? Oh my gosh, look at the leaves. It's so pretty. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I actually just bought this. I bought this the last time that I was home because I bought one before I came and the same thing happened. It was just too freaking dry here and it decided to rot. It's now living in a container and I'm growing it in perlite and leca, and it's doing well in the container. Don't really know how I'm gonna what's the word? I can't think of the word. Get it used to the dry ass air. But for now, I'm just enjoying this beautiful Hoya here. I did get new soil, it's on the mail. I decided to give Becca de la Plante soil a try. So we'll see once it gets here. I will repot it maybe. And hopefully it likes it there, because right now it's just in this like spongy nursery soil that I hate. So beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. This is the next Hoya. She is a beaut. Growing new leaves out here. I have this one in my western facing window. Is also a new Hoya that I got when I got the parasitica. It's also living in this spongy nursery soil, which I think is just like pig grass. Is that what it's called? Pig moss. But I'm going to transplant it when the other soil gets here, hoping that this gets let's see, like a new leaves. Hoping that this gets more sun stressed. I do have it in a western facing window that gets a blast of sun in the afternoon, evening. So maybe it sun stresses a little bit more, because this is from the nursery, I'm sure, and I love the way that it's pink. Pink, it's cute. Sunstressed Hoya is just beautiful. My next Hoya is this little cutie pie here. It's growing kind of funky, also in my western facing window. It grew so many leaves here in Arizona. It's growing really fast. So if you want a Hoya that tolerates extremely low humidity, the Hoya mathilde is the way to go, because she's happy here. She's been growing, she's been thriving, and she's not stopping. Like, new leaves, new leaves, new leaves. Beautiful. Okay, my neighbor is here, and I feel really awkward filming. I kind of want to stop. I'm gonna close the door. It wasn't my neighbor, I don't know who it was. Okay, carrying on. Can you see? This is my Hoya polyneura, my fishtail Hoya, which is, oh my gosh, so gorgeous. It's hard to see because of the glare, but it's really happy in this globe because, again, higher humidity. It's doing really well in here. I'm surprised. I was worried that it wasn't gonna do well, but it's really just well-draining soil, sphagnum on top, and then leca at the bottom. I keep up with the watering. Oh yeah, and then really chunky perlite throughout the soil. I keep up with the watering as best as I can. It's a process to water this. It takes forever, but anything so that this beauty can thrive. Let me see if I can get a better shot. Can I get a better shot? Nice. Here's the pothos and joy that I brought with me. I brought this one with me not because it's like a rare or difficult plant. I was just trying to take some of the workload away from my plants that are at home. So I like this pot, so I thought it would be a good addition. This pot is from Mexico that my mom got me when she went there. I think, how long ago was that? A while back. Isn't it beautiful? I guess Mexico just has the best looking pots because 100% my aesthetic. Like, look at these pots.
Bruh.
So this just fell and the water just spilled everywhere. I should probably get that cleaned. Here's my pothos marble queen or whatever. So I do have other plants on my windowsills, and then I have some prop stations, and I have a terrarium here as well. But I'm going to clean the water that just fell all over my iPad and my clothes and my bed and floor. And I'll show you how I have my plants styled around my cabin. So yeah.